Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. Right here with Spears.
How y'all feel out there?
Steinberg. What time is it? Game time.
Oh. Home is where the heart is, y'all. Home is where the motherfucking heart is. Andy and I are coming to you via satellite from his abode and from my abode. He's representing the East Coast. I'm representing the West Coast, nigga. Hey, cuz. Where them niggas at, cuz?
East Coast to Best Coast.
Yeah, so you supposed to come back with a son. Now I mean, son,
Oh,
God,
you're right.
fam, mom, Duke's kid.
On God, man. On God. East
On
Coast
God,
to Best
son.
Coast.
Dead ass, nigga. Go ahead, say dead ass, nigga. You hear that siren in the background? It's the cops. It's the ambulance coming for your ass. Yo, we got the week off. We got a couple weeks off, man, till we reconvene in Miami
For New Year's.
For New Year's. Yeah, man. So we got a couple of weeks off. Going to do the holiday thing, and doing the podcast apart but together, if that makes sense.
Via
For
satellite.
the next couple of weeks. Yeah, via satellite, baby. Got a couple things to get into. One, I saw this hilarious thing that I sent to you, where someone sent out a picture of a tombstone, and it said, what did it say? You got it?
Yeah, I got it. It said, I think it's great too. It said, white couples in TV commercials, 1950 through 2021. It's a tombstone with some flowers.
Yes, rest in peace to white couples in television commercials. What was the date? 1950
To 2021.
to 2021. And I thought, and I was going to post this, but I'm telling you, man, I'm so fucking nervous about posting anything racial because motherfucking Instagram whoop, whoop, is on my ass, nigga. I think I just recently got one more warning from them, and they said, dude, one more thing and you're done. So anything racial, religious, political, is political. I am trying my hardest to stay away from. But I thought it was funny because I said the subtlety of the message. We're not going. This is white people singing. We're not gonna take it. White folks is mad, son.
Well, after you sent it to me, I went, and I always, when I see something funny like that, I like to read the comments and see what people are saying. And so I did you read this? And you're like,
son, yeah.
But my favorite, and it is my favorite one because we talk about numbers all the time on this on our show. But someone said, black folks are only 13% of the population, but now they got all the commercials.
Right.
And what's going on? And it kind of cracked me up a little bit because, okay, first of all, you want me to take the start of this, or do you want to?
You can, but let me just say what one person said, which always speaks to white fragility.
Yep.
Which is, yo, the TV shows on TV are still predominantly white. So relax, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Y'all still run this shit.
But what was funny to me about it is there's a couple things that are funny to me about this. Both the fragility part is very important, but before I get to that part, because I'll get to that, because that's what cracked me up the most. But when we first started doing this podcast, there was an episode where me and you talked about the fact where I brought up that the only two people that advertised to black folks was Sprite and McDonald's. Do you remember that?
But yes, but it's different with McDonald's. It's Go ahead.
But we spoke about it. So I mean, I'm not saying that I know. I just noticed this before that market wasn't. They weren't aggressively. Other businesses weren't aggressively going after the black market. But here's what they didn't realize is their image. And not to have any black folks on their commercials. Also, it wasn't only not going after that market, but it was alienating that market. And it took them till today to realize, to today's market, where they jump in full force and everybody goes in full force because they all realized that no one was in the pool. They were all outside. And so they all jumped in. So yeah, when you watch commercials right now, a lot of black folks, a lot of mixed couples, all that, which is
and some fairy godmothers.
So, but not a problem. My favorite part though was when that person wrote, "It's only 13% of the population, and yet all the here's the thing that I think I love when people miss shit, and yeah, 13% of the whole entire population of the United States." But dude, this is the beauty, and you've taught me this a long time ago. Traveling changes your whole viewpoint when you move all throughout the country. There's a lot of places, especially where I live, where you live, it's not 13%. It's a huge part of the market.
Right.
Okay, and I'm not talking about Dakota. I'm talking about the ends of the country. I'm talking about the South. I'm talking about Atlanta. I'm talking about Georgia. We're talking about a lot of black folks in those, and they were being completely forgotten and completely misrepresented, like they didn't exist. Right. And when you say 13%, yeah, okay, so the people that are watching in Iowa, in certain parts of Iowa that have no black people, you're right. It's not 13%. It's 1%. So I think those are the people who might be, I'm hoping that those are the people who are like, what's going on here? It isn't representative of our community. That would at least make sense to me in my head, that it wouldn't be like from a racist standpoint, but like not understanding, a bigoted standpoint, but because of poor education. But as I've traveled all over this place, I've gone to many places that are black cities, DC.
Right. Atlanta.
I mean, New York. When you go to the Bronx, it's not like what they say, 13% black. It's not 13% black in the Bronx. Okay. It's not, and then put the Hispanic minority on that too. It's not that. It's like 88% minority, but it's not the minority there. And when you said fragility, yes, it comes out, especially in these little things where they can't figure out why this is happening. They don't understand why this is happening.
Right.
And, but at that same time, it happened because these companies weren't putting any money into that market. And they realized that they were looking like what they're running away from trying to be. It doesn't change who they are.
Right.
Because if they were really serious about who they are, they would have been in these markets before.
Well, part of me is going, does this speak more to white fear or, more towards, I don't know if white supremacy is too strong a word, but white dominance in the sense that, again, white people are becoming the minority in this country. And to better represent what this country is turning into, yeah, you look on TV now and there's couples that are, interracial. There are couples that are gay. I've been noticing a lot more in commercials, gay couples, man and man and woman and woman. I've even seen a few commercials where, trans people were represented. And again, does this feel like, even though we know that's not necessarily the case, white folks are losing their grip on their dominance, and for lack of better words, they're sick and tired of being made to feel like they're not included anymore or they're not the leaders of the pack. And they feel like, based on the comments I was reading, we get it, but stop shoving it down our throats. Stop reminding us or forcing that, hey, there's a black-white couple that need representation. There's a gay couple. There's a transgender person.
But not disagreeing with what you said, but that has been there for a long time.
What is happening to my country?
There you go.
There it is.
But it's not, and I want to make sure that this gets said this way. And when you talk about white dominance and white power, yeah, but the people with the power, they're probably not the ones that are on this post going, but it's only 13% of the country. They're probably the ones that don't really have the power to make and so when they don't have power and they see their how they side is losing their dominance, that's scary to them because they didn't come with the power in the first place. They had the power by association, not the actual power.
Right.
So I think that has a lot to do with it as well. But yeah, it is fragility. It is there is a fear of like, okay, so what's going to happen to me now? Who's out? Who doesn't anybody want my dollars? You know,
right.
But in this society, if you could just instead of being fragile and look back and go, hey,
Pew!
yeah. And go, hey,
this nigga got Bugs Bunny shit popping off in the background.
But this side was never represented in the first place. All these years has never been represented. The only reason you're noticing is because there's finally representation.
Right.
And like you said, but what are the commercials on? They're still on basically white shows.
Dude, I really don't want to fucking paraphrase here. So I'm trying desperately. I thought it was something that DL Hewley posted, but I don't think that he did because I just quickly went to his page and I couldn't find it. But so I'm going to end up fucking paraphrasing this and I don't really want to fuck it up. But some black guy tweeted, to my fellow white actors, stop complaining that all of a sudden now you can't get jobs on television because of all the diversity in terms of putting more black people on TV. TV is still predominantly white. So when you thought it was fair, or, God, see, this is the part that I don't want to fuck up because this is the critical part. Something to the extent of, so you're happy that there's diversity, but you feel like you're losing jobs. So you felt better when it was racist, meaning black people didn't have the opportunities that they're now getting. That's when you felt comfortable when it was racist. I wish I could find this goddamn quote because it's something like that. But I feel like one wrong word and I'm fucking it up. Yeah. It throws it off.
Well, you know, let's say I don't know how this is if I'm going to be putting this correctly. I'm going to try to put it correctly while you try to find this quote. What's the chick's name that was doing the NBA jump that doesn't have that job anymore?
Rachel Nichols. And to her point, and I think she said it correctly, but incorrectly at the same time. Because she basically said that she was going to be a victim of this, and I'm paraphrasing, because of ESPN's bad hiring policies, the things that they've done wrong in the past. And because of their correction, they're making an overcorrection, and I have worked hard for this position. I put the time in. I built this show. I built my credibility, and you're going to pull that away from me when there's other people you could pull it away from. And to her point, it could have been a job that a white dude was getting that they could have pulled that apart. She did work for it. So I understand at the same time, but you gotta, and I think what you're trying to get to with what that actor said, yeah, you were comfortable because you had the advantage, the number advantage in this job. And as soon as some of those jobs aren't available anymore, and because because businesses are looking to put up front more minorities, so there isn't as many jobs. But you had all the jobs at one time, and you're still complaining because you still have most of the jobs. And you still have the majority of the jobs.
And you're still complaining.
Yeah.
So, yes, fragility. It's a great word. White people should look it up, get to know it, and maybe avoid it.
On another note, I sent you that thing about Spotify and the comedians.
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan, whose picture was used, and a bunch of comedians really are saying that, Spotify is pulling them because they're demanding to get paid.
Right.
For their material as writers.
Just like musicians.
As we all are, we all are writers. We write the material and whatnot.
Not everybody, but go on.
Right. And Spotify would rather go, we're going to pull you rather than pay you.
Well, they couldn't come up with a deal. They couldn't land the right deal.
I know, but then you start to go, well, what's the right deal? Because unless we're being greedy, I think all we ever ask for is what we're due.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but again, who when they do these things, who makes that money?
Well, Spotify does.
Yeah, but when they do these things, when it's about getting paid for having your voice on that radio or the ads that, you know, well, like let's say Spotify or any radio show that would run an ad, if you're using someone's music to entertain, you're supposed to pay them, and that they have there's two legal bodies that come after. I forgot. I was in the restaurant business, so if you played, let's say you played music at your restaurant, you owed money for playing that music, and they would come and collect that money. Most of that money goes to lawyers, but a lot of that money does go to the writers who never got paid really what they were deserving of for their art. But most of the money goes to the bigger names who already have money, and that's kind of that's also another problem in this setup.
Okay, but for the comedians, that money goes to us.
By how, like when you like in a television commercial, how many times a television commercial runs, you pay someone for that. But like, I don't understand how it's working completely, because I know that if you run on Comedy Central, their station, you get paid for it.
No matter where you run, you should get paid.
Right. But as the artist, but not as the writer. And this is where the sticking point is.
Yeah, I can't speak to the writer from a television standpoint. But again, as comics, we are everything.
Right.
The writers, the producers, the stars, you know, a special, director gets credit. So but damn, how much direction do you need to do what you would do on a stage? You know that already.
But this is about the getting paid for the writing, because it's always been there's the artist. The artist doesn't always get paid. I'm only using the music industry because I'm trying to set it up that way. The writer in the music industry always made money, but just because you sang the song doesn't mean you got a percentage of the band and whatever you set up as your rights with the band. But that didn't mean you got money. The writers are the ones who always made money. So that's where this is This is where this is more complicated than.
Well, my thing. I mean, look, it all boils down to that ugly word, greed. Because why do we as artists need to even come after you when you know that we should get paid? And yes, we're doing a service to each other by being on their platform. That gives us a place for people to know we exist. But your platform wouldn't exist without us.
Right. It's ASCAP, by the way. It is the name of in the music industry. ASCAP is one of the groups that requires to be paid for the services of music in your business or however you use it.
Okay. I'm just going, why do we have to come after you for this? And, you know, which suggests to me that if we didn't pursue it, they'd rather give us nothing.
Of course.
And when you're a booming multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company, why you can't break bread, yo?
But as the artists, this has been a long time battle for artists to get paid for their art form. It always has been. The music industry has been horrible about it forever. Now it's coming to the comedians, but the comedians are always. I've said this before, and I don't know if you've disagreed with me, but for the most part, comedians to me are like cable installers. They're the lowest on the rung, because anybody can just go and do an open mic, and then they can put on their Facebook page, comedian. They can do open mics. They can tell people they're a comedian. Very few people are actually working comedians. And so that's the group of people that are not getting what they deserve. And how does that function though? How do you put this into place? And that's where this lawsuit is about.
I don't know, but I know whether you're a Jim Gaffigan or a Dave Chappelle or the top tier biggest name comic, or whether you're Joe Blow, who when you sit in my car or you sit in your car and you listen to XM and Sirius and you're listening to one of the many comedy stations and they say Joe McMillan, who you probably never heard of or never seen, who's never done a special, but you're hearing his material on the radio, guess what? He should be paid.
He is getting paid as an artist, but not as the writer.
Well, that's where we get ridiculous.
This is why it's going to mean more to. And I'm not.
I mean, to play that game of artists versus we are the same. We're one and the same, are we not?
No, this is the separation. As an artist, like when your stuff gets played on Pandora or whatever, you're receiving some money for it. You should be.
Yes.
But on
via sound exchange.
Yeah. Additionally, you should be getting money as the writer. That's what this lawsuit's about. Not getting the
but I'm saying to you, the technicality part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we are the writer and the artist.
Right, but you're only getting paid for the art form. In the way that it's set up in the music industry, you get paid as the artist and you get paid as the writer.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
Well, shit, then yeah, I'm with it. 2 checks.
Well, they have to figure it out how it works out, how it balances. Because right now, only the artist is getting paid.
Yeah, see, this is where I think they get slick, though. What is it you have to figure out?
Because, well, in the music, only the writer gets paid.
Okay. No, I'm just simply going, well, we got to figure it out. What's to figure out? Pay me as the writer and pay me as the artist. That's it.
That would be the fair way to do it.
Yeah, but we know how fair works.
But this is kind of a new world though, because we haven't had streaming services. We haven't had this. This is all brand new. This is the Wild West. We're in a new age. So, when you say break bread, there has to be profit though for the companies to stay open too. So
yeah, I know, but I don't think it's that hard to figure out. I think they like to play these games and be slick with words and make it more complex than it is, so that they don't have to pay us.
But that's and what you just said is describing the music industry, and this art form is now taking a step into what is very similar to the music industry, because this is where and the music industry is having a hard time too. Because if you think about how long have you been able to buy music or a song for 99 cents? Forever, since they did streaming. So I mean, the music is going through this too. They'll come up. It'll get rectified. It's just going to take It's going to take a little while.
It's amazing that you would use a word like wrecked, because that's exactly what this is. This is a rectum fucking. Yeah. Want to get into this Von Dutch?
Yeah. I mean, I saw it, and to me, I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I thought it was kind of cool because it did have that. It had a lot of crossover. Von Dutch did when it came out, and it was.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. For those of you folks, I assume that this was a mostly white thing, and as I'm watching, Andy and I are talking about on Hulu a 3-episode series, or at least they got 3 episodes for now.
It is 3
about
I think.
Yeah, Von Dutch, the clothing line. And the moment it started, I went, niggas don't wear Von Dutch. But to the contrary.
Yeah.
Well, at least in the celebrity world, everybody from Jay-Z to Little John to Bow Wow, Brandy, Whitney Houston, Queen Latifah, niggas fuck with Von Dutch. And I mean, it was never big in my world and my culture and to me. So I didn't pay it no never mind. But as I'm watching this thing, I was like, yo, this shit was big business.
But were you still in New York at that time, or were you in California?
No, I was in California.
Because it seems more like it seemed more West Coast. Even though I know, like you said, Jay-Z fucked with it and stuff, but it did have because, I mean, the big thing for when you're watching, I think, is that Paris Hilton and what was her sidekick's name at the time? I forgot her name.
Nicole Richie. They kind of, when they had that series on, they talk about that kind of blew up across the country with that. That's why I think you saw it as a white thing, because Paris Hilton. I just didn't know brothers to rock Von Dutch, and again, from a street level, from a regular Joe Blow level, black people really didn't rock with it. I think black celebrities rocked it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, look, when black celebrities was rocking Rockaware jeans, what was P. Diddy's line? FUBU. What was P. Diddy's lines? Sean John.
Sean, yeah.
That was universally accepted within the black community.
Fat Farm.
Farm. Black people as a whole didn't rock Von Dutch. They just had black celebrities that put their stamp on it, which I think made it cooler for white people. But I don't know too many black folks in the streets and in the hood that wore Von Dutch.
Well, the reason I think it was a celebrity item is because it was also you're paying $80 for a hat for
part.
a trucker hat.
Well, no, that part in episode 2, because what I loved, and this is always to me somewhat inspiring, is how they kept cutting to like the cartoon cash register.
Yeah.
And prior to the hats, they were in the hole.
Yeah.
They were eating it bad. But the hats is what turned them from being in the hole to a booming multi-million-dollar company. And so much so that when the guy from Denmark was saying he thought the hat shouldn't cost no more than $19.
Yeah.
But then they would charge in 40, 50, 60, almost as much as 70 for a leather hat. And he said he came in the next day and all the hats were sold out. That's what really turned the company around.
Right. I just thought it was funny because when you watch this, I was in that industry. I was gone. I was not in that industry anymore. I had left the clothing industry by that time. So I kind of saw this on the side as a spectator, and I had no idea though when I watched it, like the beginnings of it and how shady that whole Von Dutch business was.
I'm starting to believe that anything involving an opportunity to make ridiculous sums of money automatically comes with shadiness, cutthroatness, and just dirt.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not think that? Look at some of the biggest companies. They all had some sketchy money behind. Not all the biggest companies, but most of the big companies had sketchy money behind them or had used sketchy money at some time. Or when I say sketchy money, I don't mean it has to come from drugs. I mean, it could be like someone killed somebody to get that inheritance money. Someone, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of ways for money to get sketchy. I'm not just saying on a street level. Like you can take out a relative to get some money to do your business, or to take out the person that's in charge of the business. It's happened. Right. So it was interesting, but it was just unfortunate that the people who started it really didn't make the money on it. Because when you watch it, you got to feel kind of bad for some of those guys.
Yeah, no, dude. I the one dude, and when it started, the one guy who they show, old guy, I think his name was Mike. They show this motherfucker in the wheelchair, and then he struggles to get out, and he's got his cane, and he lives in the trailer park with his dog. And at first, I happened to be eating some Lay's salt and vinegar potato chips and some orange juice. And it almost spoiled my appetite because, I just went again. I see this old motherfucker in the wheelchair making his way towards his trailer park. And I just for a minute went, God damn it, Andy got me again. This nigga loves dark shit with niggas injured and handicapped and fucking voice mechanisms. A la Val Kilmer. I'm in the middle of eating, nigga, and I gotta watch this nigga, this decrepit motherfucker, struggle to get out of this wheelchair, wheezing, and with his cane. And then they cut to this nigga later, pissing in a bottle. And I'm just like, oh my God. This nigga Andy always has got to go to awful shit.
Well, dude, first of all, let's stop before we even get to the doc, and let's go back to the fact that you're eating Lay's salt and vinegar potato chips.
Yes.
Dude, those smell like feet when you open up the bag in the first place.
It smells like exercised pussy. Pussy that's been exercising and hasn't taken a shower. It doesn't stink. It's just pungent, nigga. I love it. I love pungent pussy, nigga. I love it. I love when pussy has an aroma of half vinegar, half salt.
But they're crunchy, dude. It's crunchy.
But they're crunchy, though. That's the great part. And I mean, just the inside of a boxing glove, nigga. Like the inside of mittens, if it were worn in the heat. I love it.
Dude, that is so gross.
It's fucking beautiful, man. That's grown man shit.
And then you said you were drinking orange juice with that.
Yes, ice cold orange juice
with vinegar.
With vinegar, nigga.
Dude, no.
Oh yes.
This show should have been the highlight of that meal.
Man, I just didn't want to see no old man wheezing and hurting.
I like that he has to smoke some heroin so that he can get
nigga,
straight.
I was going, this nigga is freebasing.
Because
And not to stray away from the point, but yes, he was one of the founders, the early founders
right.
of this, and ended up with nothing.
Nothing. And he also had he had that surf line, Bronze Age.
Bronze Age, right? Which I don't even remember that.
I do, and it's had a resurgence recently because it has that cool fishbone logo.
Yeah,
and it kind of has, and he did it kind of up like the Raiders, and it had that. It was like that again. It was that crossover. It gave. What are you doing?
Who, me?
Yeah, you just seemed like so happy right there for a second. I didn't even know what to say. But it had that like that crossover to different groups that all partook in surfing, but weren't represented. Because you think of surfing, you think of white dudes on surfboards, don't you? Or
right.
Hawaiian dudes on surfboards.
You know, what's them shoes you wear all the time?
The ones
are they Vans?
Vans, yeah.
Yeah, I'm between Vans, Von Dutch, Bone. What was it called?
Oh,
Bone,
Bronze Age.
Bronze Age. There are clothes specifically designed for white people, and that's you. I don't know no niggas that wear Vans. Except wait. I see you shaking your head. Niggas that wear Vans ain't niggas. They're black, but they're not, you know what I mean? Niggas that wear Von Dutch, Vans, fucking Bone, whatever, Abercrombie and Fitch. Black aren't niggas, man.
Dude,
they black people, but they not niggas.
They did. First of all, Abercrombie and Fitch and Vans don't go together. They don't work together.
Only a white person would know that.
No. And you're not looking at the youth of your. You're not looking at your youthful black folks coming up because they wear Vans, dude. They wear Vans.
Nah, not real niggas, dog. Nah,
dude.
Niggas wear Jordans, any kind of sneaker, or Timbs, nigga. Dude, niggas don't be wearing Vans, son,
no.
or Skechers.
No, who's your boy live out here in Jersey?
Ivan?
Yeah, Ivan. Ivan was telling me that there's a pair of Vans that he was going to get.
Bullshit. He told you that?
No, yeah, and he told me, even showed me which ones. He said, "Don't go get them." He was getting.
He said, "Don't go get them."
Told me not to get them because I liked them.
I gotta talk to this nigga. I don't believe this,
dude. Dude, you're still wearing the same fucking shit you wore. You're like them old men that get that hairstyle and keep that shit and will rock it to the end of time.
Why? Because of the Timbs?
The Timbs, the baggy jeans.
Dude, I am from New York.
Yeah, but it changed.
Timbs till I die,
yeah,
nigga.
But it's changed. Come out here.
If they made dress shoes Timbs, I'd rock those.
Yeah, and I even said to you, do you only wear the butter color Timbs? And you go, yeah. And then as soon as we saw that DMX video documentary, I was like, did you see all the colors that X wore? And you still were like, nah, I'm only doing the butter ones.
Son, listen, I told you, when it comes to fashion, I don't like loud. I don't like busy. I would never wear jeans when my ass cheeks are bedazzled.
You didn't wear any
niggas that wear stones on their cheeks. Fuck out of here. I am straight jeans. I'm butter Timbs. I'm fucking a solid colored shirt and a Yankee hat, and I'm good.
Dude, you never wore any cross colors, FUBU,
all that shit was too busy. I don't like looking like a fucking a painting, nigga. It's too busy. A fucking parade float. Nah, yo. Solid colors. That's it. That's why when they started showing the Von Dutch, I'm like, man, don't the niggas wear no Von Dutch. And then they cut to Dennis Rodman putting on a hat. And I said, yep, don't no niggas wear Von Dutch. Rodman's black, but you know that nigga goofy. Goofy niggas wear that.
Jay-Z wore it.
But I think he was for the moment. He got caught up in that trend. Well, Jay-Z is New York hat all day.
Dude, fuck, the guy who really promoted it, and had that crossover with it was Chris Mills' brother.
Right. The black dude, Terry Mills.
Yeah. and that's Chris. Chris Mills went to the U of A. He went to the U of A when I was there. I knew Chris. Chris is a cool dude. He really is. And his brother just knew everybody. So that's kind of part of that crossover too, though. And that's why I said that. I think that when we're talking about it, I think that was a lot of LA famous people that were out there.
Yo, it was definitely a hot trend.
Yeah.
And celebrities, either stardom or, once it happens, rock with it. It was a hot trend.
But what did you think about the dude who finally got a hold of the line that was in those movies, those karate movies?
Oh, the Denmark dude?
Yeah, the dude from Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see? I seen one of those movies before.
No, I've never seen one of those.
I saw one of them. I saw him way back. When it was one of those when cable didn't have.
Let me
as
tell you
many.
something. What was the dude who's famous? Like when the top tier action guys, like he said, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Bruce Willis. Then there was a level, and I hate this grade system because I've defended against it at times too. Because, like I said, I don't like the high school. I don't know if the right word is monarch, but that high school, you're more popular than this if you're in this. But Christopher Lambert, you remember him?
Yeah,
he was like the ain't quite Schwarzenegger, ain't quite Stallone, B movie action guy. He was kind of that dude.
but his really only role in that action genre was There Can Only Be One. What was that? What was that movie? There Can Only Be One.
I can't. I don't even remember.
Oh man, people are going to be sending in this one. Like I really forgot. I dropped the ball on this one. Now I got to look it up because it was There Can Only Be One, where he has to.
Is that the name of the movie?
No, it's where he has to fight all these people because there can only be one of this specific.
There's
entity.
another guy I'm thinking of too.
But was it
for the life?
Chris Lambert? Wasn't he also Tarzan?
Was he? He might have been. There's one other dude whose name is so on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it to save my life. He looked like another one of these dudes, like a Fabian type motherfucker.
Oh shit!
Like
Chris,
he looked like.
he was also in Mortal Kombat. I didn't know that.
I mean, yeah, it's Raiden. That's the one I remember him from. But there's another dude who looked like he was on one of these paperback books at the grocery stores for fat housewives that can't get no fat women that can't get no dick. And they spend Friday nights eating raw cookie dough and petting their cats. There's another white guy. And they all had that same look. Long hair. You know what I mean? Overly tanned. Semi-muscular. He was big in the 80s.
Did he have an accent too?
No, straight American. 80s and 90s. But he again, it was almost douchey cheesy.
Dude, I cannot find this movie.
The one with Chris
Highlander.
Lambert?
Highlander. That's the
Okay.
one. That's the one that he came. There can only be one. That's
Right.
how I know him. That's what I
I
know.
wish
him.
I could think of this other fucking dude.
But I just think it's amazing that this Von Dutch thing. Okay, and Von Dutch himself. If you know the story of Von Dutch, which I did because
You like that art shit.
well, and I also knew who he was though because he was popular in that striping community and in cars, and I have people that are friends in that. But I also know who he was, and he wasn't the friendliest person towards anyone else that's outside of that. He was bigoted, is what I'm trying to say. He had some issues.
He was a racist motherfucker?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I'm supposed to use the term racist or bigoted. I don't know anymore. I don't know what that time, that space that he occupied in that time.
Right.
I don't know that he was being racist or he was just the standard run of the mill bigoted guy back then. And I say that because I do. I think we're trying to rewrite history somewhat, where these people fit a certain place in time. Not that it was right, but that's what that time had, and you can't change it. So we're going back, and we're trying people by today's standards, and I don't think you can do that.
Aren't you?
I don't know. I mean, can you do that? Can you go back in time and say this person is this but at that time that wasn't what that person was? I mean, yes, they're bigoted, but today maybe we'd find them to be racist, but it's a different, I'm holding them accountable to a different time.
Right.
And I don't know.
You're not making an excuse, are you?
I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying, can you hold them though? Like,
I think you have to.
But it's a completely different, like, are black and white movies better? No, that's a bad fucking analogy. It's a different time when I don't think that they understood actually, here's how I could say it. Damn, but I don't want to do it this way at all. I was in Texas in 1977, I think. And the N-word was used so openly in Texas, in this town. And everybody said it. Black, white, everybody said it. And honestly, I was so uncomfortable coming from Arizona. My grandmother was out there with me. She was uncomfortable. My uncle, her son used that word all the time. And I remember her fighting with him about that word and about using it and how the interactions was. But if everybody did it at that time, not that it's right, can you hold them the same way that you would hold someone accountable who said it today?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that ever goes away.
They're accountable, but is it at the same? Do you have the same vitriol for that person from that time that you do for the person that said it today? Because today someone should be more aware. They should be more.
They're just as aware then too.
No,
they're aware.
No, because I'll never forget hearing what dude. I'm not happy with this conversation at all. But I'll never forget what he said. This is how everybody talks here. This is what they do here. This is what this is.
But if they know the difference between the right and wrong of it, then that's just, that doesn't fly now.
Well,
look, Tommy Hilfiger said it in so many words, and he didn't want niggas buying his clothes. But he also realized that a lot of the people he was making his money off of was niggas. So, he tried to politic it. But we knew how he really felt.
Yeah, but we're talking not about 20 years ago. I'm talking about 50 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm not giving it a pass. I'm just saying I don't know that you can rewrite history and hold people like weed. I don't know that I could go. Well, I can't. It's. You can't go and should everybody? I got in trouble for weed. Did that change because now weed's legal? Should I be not in trouble for it? Should I get something back from that? Should it change because of it? Or is it that's the way it was? I was held to that accountability. I don't know. I don't know, but I think this is something that needs to be reckoned with. Because I think that we can only go. Somebody sent me this thing about Coco Chanel and that she was she was a Nazi, and she was a Nazi, and everybody knows that she's a Nazi.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was a Nazi. She was like a double agent, and she gave the Germans information. Okay, so we know that about Coco.
That's the perfume chick, right?
The perfume and the House of Chanel, Coco Chanel. Also, Dr. Porsche was a Nazi who builds Porsches. He's the one who built that Volkswagen thing that people drive was really a military vehicle. And the bug was based on a low fuel use car because Hitler knew that he was going to need to conserve resources. So that's how he had that developed. And Dr. Porsche is the one who did that. That's what Volkswagen is. And
white folks, y'all just racist, nigga.
What?
White folks, y'all just racist.
Okay,
nigga.
but as you go on, there's still plenty of people that wear Chanel, but they're not giving Chanel the money. Chanel's dead and gone. People who wear Chanel, I don't see them as Nazis because they're wearing Chanel. I don't see people driving Porsches as Nazis because Dr. Porsche was a Nazi. I don't know that you can rewrite history because once the times move on, doesn't it change? And don't we become better? Shouldn't we become better? And do we still hold each other? Do we hold the generation that might not have been as to where we are? Do we hold them to that same standard?
No, I hear what you're saying, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, look, at the end of the day, people love convenience. People love what feels good. And I mean, I just recently rewatched Dave's special on when he was in Texas, and he told that joke about how if a white girl was sucking his dick, and she was like, "Come in my face, nigger." He goes, I'm not gonna go like this. And he snatched his dick out of her mouth. He goes, "No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm busting that nut. I'll sort out the ethics later." So listen, if Porsche, fucking Volkswagen, Chanel, whatever makes you feel good, whatever's convenient for you, you make allowances. Especially since it was way back then.
But that's what I'm saying. But you go back and you hold people accountable from way back then that aren't even alive. And we but some people have formed such a history at the same time that affect us today. So I understand it in both ideas.
Right.
But how far do we go? What do we take it to?
Right.
That's my that's my thing. So when we talk about this Von Dutch guy, there's a lot of artists that were racist. There's a lot of artists that are hanging up in museums. And so my question is, if we're going to go back and do this, if you want to hold everybody, are we going to go to the museums and just start pulling shit down? Are we going to take it all down?
Right. And Coco Chanel was a Nazi?
She was an actual Nazi. She was working as for the German, giving information to the Germans. Yes.
So as a Jewish dude, how does that make you feel?
Dude,
if your girl goes, "I want some Coco Chanel."
Honestly, I worked in that industry. The people that are working there aren't Nazis. I don't hold them to the same accountability. She started the brand. She hated Jews. Wow. If we went back in time and she wanted to pick up something from 1940s Coco Chanel, I might be a little bit more disappointed in it. But
right.
I think that time has passed. This company is a different company. I know plenty of, Mercedes, German car company. I'm not going to go on Mercedes. I'm not going to go off on them. I'm going to say I like Porsches. So better yet, you could ask me Porsche, so I don't have to go with Coco. Would I drive a Porsche? Yes, I would drive a Porsche.
You think if Jerry Seinfeld knew the history, he'd stop driving Porsches?
No, I don't, because it goes back to that. You have to move on. You just don't forget about it.
So wait a minute. Who was the Porsche person?
Dr. Porsche.
And he was doctor. It was a dude.
Yeah, he was he had the car company.
And he was a Nazi too?
Here's the thing though, and this is where it gets complicated as well. You're living in Germany and you want to stay open, you want to stay for business. I mean, we saw the movie that Steven Spielberg did, whatever. No, I'm not going to
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List. He was a Nazi. So does that how do you can't now Coco Chanel is a little bit different. Coco Chanel was actually given information to the Germans. So that's different. That's completely different. She didn't have to. She was working for the Germans. Now, Dr. Porsche is German. He's in Germany. He has this car company. Hitler comes to you and says, this is what you're doing. And that's it. So he's working with the Nazis. Now, I don't know what that makes him. I don't know what that makes him. I know what Chanel is, but I'm not taking food off someone's plate today because they work for Chanel.
Right. Steve, I'm going to count this in. Give me the Seinfeld music as I do this in 3, 2, 1. What's the deal with the Porsche guy not liking Jews? Or is he getting in his car and rolling over Jews? Is he hitting Jews with the Porsche? Is he putting it in reverse and trying all over their Jew bodies? What's the deal with that? Does he stop the Porsche, empty the fuel tank on the Jews, and burn them? What's the deal? Should I stop driving Porsches?
Volkswagen thing was actually the car that they used kind of as like a semi all-terrain vehicle. So they did run over Jews in the Volkswagen in that.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So there you go. There you go. What's the deal with that?
What's the deal? And then while driving through Germany, do I pick up a hitchhiker named Kramer? And we start looking for niggas to hang from trees. Okay.
See, this is a good thing this isn't on Instagram. See, when you watch something like the Von Dutch documentary, how we can get how far we can take it.
Yeah. I do plan to, of the 3 episodes, and I've only seen the first 2. The first one didn't really grab me much because I thought it was more of obviously a setup story.
Yeah.
Once they started getting into the success of Von Dutch, it started to get me going a little bit. So I'm looking forward to watching the 3rd episode.
You'll learn more, then you'll know more about what the Ed Hardy, where Ed Hardy came from. Actually, you don't really get that from there, but you'll know the people and why Ed Hardy got started.
Right.
So it's. I mean, I thought it was interesting. It's a lot of time to dedicate to it, but
right.
If you liked it or if you knew about it and you like dark shit like I do, it was definitely worth seeing. But
right.
dude, I just been watching a couple episodes of this Hawkeye on Disney.
I saw the advertisement for that, and listen, people made jokes about the fact that of all the Avengers, this is the weakest one. Because certainly if he was worth it, I think they would have given him his own big solo film, a la Black Widow, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk. But I mean, let's be honest. What's the most action you see with this dude? Pulls the arrow out, pulls it back, phew, over and over and over again. So I saw the preview for Hawkeye and I went, is this even worth a look? How was it?
It's actually it's fun it's a fun watch. It's not a
major movie.
No, it's not at all. But you know what? And everything that you kind of just said is discussed in this little series.
Oh, they address it.
They kind of address it because they're addressing it right now. Kind of off to the side, but not going as directly as that you said it. But Jeremy Renner, who's Hawkeye, dude, he's like the he's like that. He's like who's the now? I'm not even going to remember his name. Cameron Payne. He's the Cameron Payne for the Phoenix Suns. You can't pay everybody.
Is that the dude that looked like the sloth?
Yeah,
animal.
Yeah. You can't pay everybody max contracts, and the Avengers are a lot of max contracts. You got to have.
That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy.
You got to have some role players.
Got to have some sloths.
And Jeremy Renner, this Hawkeye character on there. I mean, he serves a purpose, but yeah, he's a role player. He's coming off the bench. He ain't starting.
Did you ever see Black Widow?
Yeah, I did see it.
How was it?
It was okay.
Dude, I never would have. If it was in the theaters, I certainly wasn't going to go see it. And even when it hit HBO Max, and I saw you had to pay for it, I wasn't gonna see it. I said, this motherfucker got to be free.
It wasn't bad. I saw it for free though. I wouldn't pay.
Yeah,
but no, it was all right. But I'll give you one. Everybody listening, I'll give you one that if you haven't seen it in a long time, I'm really glad because I was flipping through my Netflix, and it said, and I saw Life was on there. It popped up, Life.
Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence?
Yeah. And
Right.
but it's not going to be there after I think the 21st. I forgot what date this month. It ends this month. They're taking it off. You know how they only have them for so many months.
Right.
So Life is coming off. So I was like, man, I better watch this again because I haven't seen it in so long.
Right.
Dude, it's not the best movie ever made.
No, but it gets you full.
It's funny. It is so
Yeah.
those two together really. I think if you didn't have the coming to America scenes with the old guys, that these two
Right.
guys would have been pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, you would have thought it even, but those guys were so funny
Right.
that they didn't reach that level of funny. But
I'm telling you, man. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
My favorite is the outtakes, man.
The outtakes are
Those outtakes. I'm telling you, that scene, and again, this is what Eddie's genius is in terms of quick, witty, improv. When that fucking cell phone goes off in the car, and he goes, yeah, I know it's 1936. I'm the first one to have this. Nigga, I'm the first one to have this at that moment. That is brilliant.
dude. The outtakes are fun. The outtakes were worth watching. But guys, if you haven't seen it in a long time, just jump on it real quick because it's worth seeing again, man. There's so many parts that I've forgotten about that I had.
Dude, in the outtakes, anybody that's ever driven cross country or even 100 miles knows you just hit a stretch of road where it ain't like being on the freeway. It's just you and the bugs. And that one moment where Eddie says to Martin, say this shit again, I'll whip your ass. It'd be 40 minutes before somebody come up. Nigga, 40 minutes before someone comes up. Getting your ass beat for 40 straight minutes. Like Eddie can say things, and all the great comedians do it. They say things that automatically put the picture in your head.
Yeah, the visual.
The moment.
Yeah.
The moment. And with the words and the exact way they say it, you see exactly what they want you to see. And it's brilliant.
Dude, there's something else I'd like you to see, but I know you won't see it. And I know we're almost done with this episode, so I'll just tell you. And I watched it, and it was long, dude. It was really long. But I watched the Beatles documentary that they had on.
Dude, I saw the preview for that, and I'm going, I should watch this. But I'm not a Beatles guy. I could care less about the motherfuckers.
I am not. I'm not I like the Beatles, but I'm not one of the biggest Beatles fans. I watched
But they speak to your whiteness, though.
No, they spoke to, dude, if you watch it, you're going to be very interested in seeing some of the stuff that gets done in this and why I think I'd like them less after watching this. But
really?
But emotionally, I'm more like, after I was done watching it, I'll tell you this because it doesn't affect anything that's in it if you wanted to watch it or not watch it. But after I watched it, I actually almost cried because of this. I didn't cry.
Oh, shit.
No, but I almost did because you saw this moment where you see the beginning of the end of this band. It had all these hit songs and was this big, they were bigger than life at that time. You saw the pictures of all the people coming out and screaming and yelling for them. And they were this huge entity. And you saw the beginning of what is going to be the end. And you see all this greatness, and it's still, and you know when this movie ends, or the documentary ends, that they had a feeling like they were going to continue, and you know what's going to happen after this. And it left me this feeling that I've never had before about comedy, even. Like, you just don't know, but it's never going to end. It's all going to end. And this is this dark shit that we talk about with me and you that you don't like, but it all ends. No one gets out of this as, you could die at the top, but you're still dead. It's all going to end. And it was just amazing to see like this moment that they captured. And it's the beginning of the end of what the Beatles are and going to be as the group. And you know what's coming down the road, but they looked like there was some optimism at the end, and you just know like it's just ending at that point. And it was kind of I don't know. I tuned into it in a different way at the end about like life and like my place in comedy, what I want to do, and then after I saw that, then I saw a clip of Kobe Bryant. Not Kobe Bryant. It was who was it? I think it was Jay. I don't remember what other basketball player it was, but he was talking about Kobe Bryant, and he said the guy gets up and he said, I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to go put in this time because of the game and the big game that they're going to play. And he got there early to get to work out, and he heard a basketball, and it's Kobe Bryant,
Jason Williams.
He's already sweaty and everything.
Right.
And then he said he got done with his workout, and he still hears Kobe Bryant's bouncing. And he said, I'm going to watch this. I got to see this. And he said he watched it for another 25 minutes. And then Kobe scores 40, I guess, in that game, or 50. I don't even know what it was, 40 or 50. Who cares? 40's a lot. 50's even more, but it's a lot.
Right.
And then he says, he went up to Kobe and he said, why do you do that? Why do you? And he goes, oh, because I saw you. And I knew you were watching me. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew that I'd put more effort than you would.
Yeah.
And dude, I just realized I don't put enough effort in. And
oh, well, I could have told you that, nigga.
And these guys, and then I watched even their greatness, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference, but it's all on you. And
yeah, I keep telling you, put your dick on this podcast, nigga.
I didn't see it that, it's hard to see that when I heard him say that, I kind of got it that it's me, because when this is all over, it's only what you put in and what you took out.
Let me tell you something, and I'm so glad you brought this up, because here's something that I'm going to say to you, and you may do it and you may not, but I said this to you before, yo. Every week when this podcast comes out, Wednesdays and Thursdays, do you listen to the episodes?
Yeah, a lot of them. Not all of them.
Okay, not all of them.
No, I lived them.
Okay, but you see that? I listen every week. I watch game tape, and I'm doing it because I sit there and I listen to the episodes and I go, boom, you should have said this instead of that. Boom, next time this situation comes up, turn up the funny here. Oh, this is a great place for a callback. Oh, shit. You know what? Boom. He made that point, which now got me thinking, next time we get into this conversation, point, counterpoint. I watch game tape, nigga. So I'm prepared. The next one we do, how do we be better? How do I be better? How do I get funnier? How do I make these callbacks work? And you go, I lived it. Living it's not enough. Watch game tape, son. Study. Study.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I can't disagree with you on that, but I listen to other podcasts too.
Okay, but you other podcasts ain't doing what we trying to do. We trying to both retire on a yacht and have a white blonde bitch party.
No, that's you trying to do that.
Wear yachts, huh?
That's you trying to do that.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, but whatever your benefit is from it, you're gonna get something.
Yeah, I would like to know that. You know what I realized? This is what I'm realizing, and this is the best way I could say it. What Kobe kind of said, I haven't put enough in the bank to go make a withdrawal.
I take it even better than that. I love when 50 Cent goes, yo, if you ain't making money while you sleep, get your ass out to bed.
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm just saying, man, and listen, we've been doing this 3 years now, and I still, and admitting to you that as comfortable as you think I should be in saying certain things to you, I'm not 100% comfortable yet, because I'm always worried that if I say the wrong thing or if I come off too harshly, what that might either do to you or do to us. And so I try to, as strategically as I can, pick my battles and figure out what I can and can't get away with, because I feel like there's still some things, and that could work towards you, to me too. There's still some things where if we could really talk to each other straight up, I think that does nothing but benefit us.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think there's been times I probably have held back on something, but I think we're both grown men and we should be able to do grown men shit.
Should be. But that's not always easy, because sometimes what you think is grown man shit can also hinder shit.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Timing is everything, and
right.
and execution is everything. And I'm not the best when it comes to execution.
Yeah, but I'm not breakable.
Oh, well, nigga, let me go and turn my volume up. I believe I can break you, nigga. I must break him.
It's funny because I sound very insecure in a lot of ways when I talk about certain things. Like, I do. I know I do. But you know me, and you know that I'm very, at the same time I could be insecure, I'm very secure in what I'm doing. Because I couldn't do what I do if I wasn't. I don't know how to balance. I don't know how that works because that doesn't sound like it works.
All right, so can we put this to the test? Can I say something to you that I'm hoping doesn't fuck with you,
go ahead.
that I want to say?
Go ahead.
All right, like when you say you live it, and you don't watch game tape because you live it. And I say to you, yo, Andy, I wish you would be funnier on this podcast. And I can't force you to be what you're not. But I still believe that as a comic, there's always room to turn the level up. And sometimes I think to myself, and I want to say to you, Andy, you're not funny enough on this podcast for you to not be watching game tape, nigga.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but see, I've never thought of my position on this podcast, and when I do listen to it, I think it's me. Like I wasn't looking to be the funniest guy on the podcast.
I'm not. But nobody's asking you to be the funniest guy because Jordan couldn't have won that ring without Paxson's shot. He couldn't have won that other ring without Kerr's shot. So you play a pivotal role.
Yeah.
So just be ready to shoot, nigga.
Yeah, but I also play another role here where I come with a lot of different things. I read up on shit. I'm ready to go with whatever we're going to talk about. I'm not always the funniest on it, but I'm ready to go. Like I have information
that you seem to forget.
Yeah, I forget the names. I don't forget the overall names. Where'd you go, man?
No, somebody's calling me right now. Go ahead, keep talking.
All right, but we got to get this one done because we got to get to the emails. So I want to give everybody where we're going to be. Oh, I'm going to give everybody where we're going to be, and you got a thing to read, right?
Yeah.
All right. So guys, very excited to be doing New Year's with Aries in Miami. We're going to be there the 30th through the 2nd. Obviously, we're going to be there for New Year's Eve. And if you want to come out to New Year's Eve, I don't know how many tickets are left, but get those tickets for New Year's Eve. Then we're going to both be in Helium, St. Louis on the 6th, the following week, the 6th through the 9th. And then that's Helium. And then we're going to be at, have you been to Milwaukee Improv before?
No, it's new.
It's new, right? Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
We're going to be in Milwaukee Improv the 13th through the 16th. And then Cleveland Improv the 21st through the 23rd. And then the end of the month, the 28th and 29th, I'm going to be back in Helium, St. Louis, doing the Garage, headlining that for those 2 days. And then Aries is going to be at the Denver Improv.
Yeah, and Christmas Day and the day after, I'm going to be in Dana. What is that? Dana, Florida?
Dana Beach, Florida,
Beach, Florida at the Improv.
It's in the Fort Lauderdale kind of same area.
Christmas night, 2 shows, and then the next day, 1 show. So 3 shows over that Christmas weekend.
And I was going to come out, but it was $1,000 to fly out there.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been worth it.
Yeah, not for 3 shows.
Okay, folks, I'm going to read something that I have to read to you, an ad for something that I'm involved with. And to all of you listeners, please, 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 I'm asking you as a favor to me to please check this out. Please support it. It is a true investment into my future and into my kids' future. So I know Kolsch has our back no matter what. And I'm sure there are a few other diehard loyalists. But to everybody out there, please, please, please check this out and support me on this. I need you. I'm putting the bat signal in the air. I'm a tech investor, y'all. I've partnered with Aries. Yep, you heard that right. Aries, spelled Aryes. They approached me and said they wanted to help 100,000 business owners keep their doors open. And after I saw the product, I was like, sign me up. It literally helps business owners increase their profit and run their businesses without needing to do basic accounting. Look, this isn't the business podcast, so let's keep it simple. I need your help. If you own a storefront business or know someone who owns a storefront, I need you to use Aries, that's Aryes, and submit reviews. Go to heyaries.com and click Get Aries. Hey, HEYARYES.com. Use the code SPEARS, all capital letters, so I know my listeners are supporting. When we hit 100,000 signups, we got something special planned. Yay, yay.
So your company that you're doing this with is Aries?
Yes.
And you're Aries.
And I'm Aries.
So that sounded confusing when they said you'll get Aries.
Yeah, but it's spelled Aryes.
Okay. And go ahead.
Steve, do me a favor. Put that at the end of, keep that so I don't have to do it twice, and put that on the end of the podcast episode as well, like a regular commercial. And then I'm going to call you and explain to you, like I explained to Andy, what's being done here. But coming out of that in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I have to.
I'm sorry, one more thing I have to announce. Folks, I haven't done it in a while, so let me do it again, because I had a couple of people hit me on Instagram about this. If you want to email into the show, Aries Spears 45 at Hotmail. For any new listeners that want to get shit off their chests and want to discuss things, want to know things, want to have their shit read. Aries, is it Aries Spears? At 45 at Hotmail, right?
Aries Spears 45 hot.
I couldn't remember my own goddamn email. Aries Spears 45 at Hotmail. ARIES SPEARS 45 at Hotmail.
Yeah, if you want to find me, I like Instagram. But send emails to be read on the podcast to Aries. That is Aries Spears 45 at Hotmail.
And as always, please, Spearsburg Pod, support us. Those numbers are slowly growing. Patreon, Spearsburg. Is Spearsburg Pod?
Spears. Yeah.
On Patreon?
Yeah, I think so. Spearsburg Pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're on Patreon.
Everything Spearsburg Pod.
Yeah, we're growing too on YouTube, which I'm happy about because that means ching ching. Money in the Jews' pocket. Twitter, Instagram, everything Spearsburg Pod. Somebody else hit me up and said there's a new CEO at Twitter. And he was banned for 2 years and now he's back on. So now with this new shift in company, maybe I could get back on. So I told Anthony to see if he could get me back on Twitter.
You should have listeners right into Twitter. They need Aries Spears back on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to remind them Twitter that, well, why was he ticking off in the first place? So maybe this is a brand new start. And I just want to be able to be on it just so I could load up, shit that we can't get away with on Instagram.
Yeah, but you couldn't get away with it on Twitter. That's why you're off.
No, you could. My shit was different. I was calling motherfuckers sand niggas and shit. Yeah. I was going hard in the paint.
But if you call everybody that, right? How
right.
What it would almost be offensive if you didn't call somebody that.
I like your ideology. But nigga, my shit was venomous. I was really at a different level.
You used to get up early.
Yeah, to get straight Scarface niggas.
I kind of miss those days.
You fucking little monkey. Hey, who the fuck you think you're talking to, huh? You want to go to war? Take it easy when you talk to me. I was on that level.
I kind of miss it a little bit. I really do. Because you used to go hard.
Yeah, man. I just, I'm in a different place now. Woosah.
All right, you got a musical guest?
Oh shit. That's right. Oh boy. All right. Coming up, this is That Girl, AB. Song is No Hype. Instagram at That Girl AB, spelled just like that. That Girl, ThatGirlAB. Twitter at That THAT_GIRL_AB. Facebook at That Girl AB. Again, spelled just like you heard it. ThatGirlAB. The song is called No Hype from a Woman. Let's go.
How y'all feel out there?
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. If you'd like to know who's responsible for this shit, well, it was hosted by Ari Spears and Andy Steinberg, produced by Steve Merrick and Anthony Holmes, executive producer, Big Papa, Robert Kelly, and Matt Klein-Schmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit www.spearsbergpod.com.